everybody, Jess here coming on to teach you how to make these cute interactive rocking horse cards. This was our April Stamp Club project, and this idea comes from Jennifer McGuire, so you'll find this on her blog as well. I absolutely love this technique. So these cards move and they're interactive. This one being a circle card can stand up and rock, and the horse will go back and forth that way. So I adapted the technique to a standard size card as well, and this little guy is going to be running over the hills there. Too cute. And I absolutely love this stamp set from close to my heart. Our pretty little ponies, all those images, the barn, a horseshoe, and you can choose to get all the dies to match as well. All right, I'm going to start with the circle card here today, and the ingredients that you're going to need for this are 2 white circles and 1 blue of the same size. You can use a die, you can use a Cricut to cut these circles. They are 5 inches. And I did a little prep work. What you're going to do is sandwich 1 white and the blue together, glue them together, and you're going to take either a 1/2 inch long reach punch or a little 1/2 inch circle die, and you're going to put that right in the middle and cut that little hole out of the center of your card. So I did that already, and that's what that looks like. So I will show you how to make the rocking mechanism next. You're going to need a 1 inch circle. You can use a punch and a little button. I like to use a mini glue dot to get this down. You could use liquid glue or red line tape. You're going to put the button right in the middle of that white circle. This is going to go right through the hole here. You don't want any extra adhesive around here. So if your glue dot is too large, try to push it so that it's all onto the button and nothing is kind of squishing out on the sides. You're going to need a penny. That is going to be the weight that is going to make it swing, and a pendulum, which is going to be a piece of acetate, a clear piece of acetate. And if you can't find any of this, look at some packaging that you might have laying around, maybe some junk mail, but I'll tell you, some of the best acetate, you know where it comes from? Our stamp sets. If you have a stamp set with even just a 1/4 inch, that's all you need. You can cut off a little piece of this carrier sheet that our stamps come on, and it is nice, thick, quality, sturdy acetate. Love it. And I'm going to glue a penny onto the bottom of that acetate. I really like to use a red line adhesive tape because it's super duper strong. I'll come over here. Put that red line tape right at the bottom of our acetate and peel off the backing there. Piercing tool works great. I'll try to use the tip of my scissor. Yep, get that off. And then the penny is going right to the bottom. So the acetate, the bottom of the acetate is at the bottom of the penny. And that is our little weight. So we're going to set this aside. A couple other ingredients we need to finish this card are some clouds. We want our little rainbow horse kind of floating through the sky. I kind of wish he was a unicorn or had wings like a Pegasus. We have 1 large and 2 small white cloud pieces. This is a die from a border set that I used that has little stitch lines on it. This one's about 3 inches. These pieces are about 1 3/4, maybe 2 inches. So you're going to use that cloud die on all 3 pieces. Take the largest one first, and you're going to set this over top of your blue piece so that your clouds are covering that circle. You don't want that circle to be shown. Some of it can be will hang off the edges depending on how you cut your paper. I just want that circle covered right like this. And next I'm going to take the die that I cut the blue circle with, and we're going to lay that over top, and you can put some washi tape over that and send it through your die cutting machine. I'm going to go off to the side and cut this out. will be cut just right to fit. Take that washi tape off. Alrighty, so here's what that looks like. Alright, let's come back and assemble our card here. This little button that we did is going to go through the hole. Now we have our penny on our acetate. The next thing we're going to do is put a mini glue dot or some red line tape on top of that button. And I'm going to use some red line tape if I can find the end. Sometimes I have a hard time finding the end of this tape. There it is. And just a little piece. And same type of thing with this. If you have some adhesive that's kind of hanging over the edges, you want to fold it in onto the top of that penny. You don't want anything sticky hanging on the edges there for it to catch on the card. So I'm going to kind of tuck that in, push it in. All right, penny in the middle. Now, the button in the middle. The penny I want kind of halfway between the button and the bottom of the card. We're going to add our clouds here with some foam tape. So your foam tape, you want to leave room for the foam tape under here. You don't want your penny to be sticking and getting caught onto your foam tape. So leave a good space down there for your foam tape. Alrighty. Next, with this circle piece that we cut, I'm going to flip it around and we're going to just fill in the bottom with some foam tape. Make that dimensional. And also to leave room for our penny to swing. If you have thinner, smaller foam tape, you could probably bend it and shape it rather than doing pieces like this. Pardon me. Now what I want to do is make a double layer of foam tape. So I'm going to peel the backing off of these pieces and I'm covering them up again because I want this to be extra thick. I want there to be enough room for that penny mechanism to swing underneath there so it creates enough space. So double layer of foam tape here on the bottom. Alrighty, and peel this off and we're going to attach this to the card. I love the quality of our 3D foam tape. It's it's awesome. Pardon me. So that is going to the bottom. All right, our penny is hidden and it can swing in there. Now what we're going to do with these other layers of clouds, I wanted it to look a little bit dimensional. So I have 3 layers of cloud in there and they can be tilted and going at different directions. So I'm going to put some glue on the back here and angle that. And then this one I'm going to angle that way. Just creating some, there's red tape. That stuff is like static cling. And then when that dries, we're just going to trim around it. Instead of running it, well, we can't run it through the die cutting machine again because it's going to be too thick. Of course, with the penny and the foam tape and everything. So we're just hand trimming around there. And there's our layer of clouds. And next we can move on to our adorable little horse. Let me show you how I'm going to color this in. I'm going to use brown gray, the lightest shade on the marker. These are the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends. And I'm just going to outline the horse's body. I want the horse to look white, but just leaving it alone is a little too stark. But giving it a little outline in this light gray color really adds the dimension with it still looking like a white horse. Outline around the hair there. So that's what that looks like. And then flip the marker around to the dark side. And I did his hooves, just flicking in. Come back to the light and fill in those hooves. And then next we're going to use our rainbow. Here are all the colors I'm using for our rainbow. Magenta is our red, whoops, coral. For the orange, light yellow, light green, aqua blue, and pink violet. I'm using the light shades of all of these markers to create our rainbow. When you use these, you want to blend from one color into another and to overlap and pull it in. Really looks beautiful when you pull in those shades overlapping. Light yellow. Overlap it with the coral. And light green is next. Overlap a little. Real pretty. Aqua blue. These shades look so pretty together. Overlap a little bit of that green. And lastly, pink violet for the purple. I love the way that looks when you overlap it with the aqua blue. So pretty. All right, and then what I did with the ears and the muzzle, I went to the coral blend, the lightest shade of the coral blend, to do his ears and his muzzle here. There he is! Too cute. There is our little rainbow pony. So next, to finish this up here, we're going to place him at the top of that acetate. Now your acetate, it might be a little bit too long. You don't want that sticking out over his body. I'm going to cut off just a touch. And then foam tape we're going to add to the top. I'm going to cut a little piece to add onto that acetate. And just like the bottom of the clouds, I'm going to double it up. So double layer of foam tape. Peel that off. And then we're going to stick our little pony right to the top. So his head is at the top of the card. And there he is. He's going to move there. Yep. Shake, move. He tilts and rocks. Too cute. Almost done, guys. Let's see. Next, the back of the card, you have your other circle. I scored 1 inch. So give that a press. Just 1 inch. And then I'm going to put some glue on that piece. And that is how we're going to fold our card. Line that up. Give it a press. And then the message I stamped on a banner, "It's your day." I put foam tape on the back. And I'm sticking this onto a piece of pink glitter cardstock. I wanted to just add in a little bit of pizzazz with glitter paper. And I'm just going to hand trim around "It's your day." And then we'll glue that on the front with our message. You can come in with some pink pearls. These are Bashful pearls that we had for a little while, different sizes. You can add a big one on each side, 2 little ones, whatever you like. Alrighty, and there is your card. Too cute. So it'll stand up and it'll rock. Too cute. I hope you like that one and the rainbow coloring. All right, next up, we'll finish with our little barn card here. I did a little prep work with this one. You have a standard size card. And this little circle dot, open up your card. Don't run it through your die cutting machine closed. Open up your card. And I glued a piece of blue cardstock onto the front. Doesn't matter that it's not going all the way to the bottom. We're going to cover that with the grass here. And the circle is about 2 inches down and 2 inches over if you want to be precise. All right, we have our circle here cut out of our base. Come to the piece of acetate. Just like before, I have a little piece of red line adhesive on the bottom. That stuff is very staticky. And whoops, I lost it. Whoops. Here it is. We're going to put our penny right to the bottom, just like before. And there's a little sticky there. Rub that off. Same thing as before too, with a little circle, glue dot, a button right in the middle there. I'm going to put that right through the hole. Now this one is a little bit different. We're going to attach the acetate to the button like before. Now the grass, same thing, you want to leave room down here for your foam tape. So I want this penny, yeah, right about there. So again, glue dot or some red tape onto that button. Nice and sticky. If there's any acetate, my goodness. If there's any sticky, fold that over onto the top of the button. And then keep in mind, leave room for your foam tape. And I want that penny right about there. Okay, I'll set this aside for now and let's color. So this horse, I used burnt orange and earth brown. That was one of my favorite color combinations for this one. You can give him a little birthmark on his nose if you want. Adorable. Ooh, we lost a cap. Let's see. I want burnt orange light. So with burnt orange, we're going to use the light first to color the whole body of this little horse. So this is where maybe you want to make your horse look like the horse you own or a horse you ride. One of your favorite looking horses. I just really liked this color combination. I thought it was pretty nifty. So this is just the base we're laying down here. Burnt orange. I'll have to re-ink this one. It's getting well loved. I've been coloring a lot of these horses here. Flip it around to the dark side, and I'm going to outline, just outline him. And this is really going to start adding the texture and dimension here. Even under that little part of his mane, the hair. And sometimes I don't know about you, but I have to start putting on reading glasses when I'm coloring these days. So I outlined the horse. Let me bring that up a little closer. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of flicking motions to add a little bit more shading here with this dark color. A little bit more under the belly, a little bit more coming over onto his rump and that leg underneath. And that hip crease there. All right, then we're coming to the middle color to go over everything and pull it in. Just go over everything with that mid-tone burnt orange and pull it all in. Alrighty. Similar to our rainbow horse, I'm using the coral light for the ears and the muzzle. I liked that one the best. And for the mane, I used earth brown. I used both the earth brown blend and the earth brown shades because I really wanted the dark stuff as well. But with the light, I'm going to go over all of that mane. I love these ponies from this set, how they look like they're in action. There's a couple that are just standing still. But these, one's going one way, one's going the other way. And I thought they were perfect for this card. All right, once you have your base laid down there, I'm coming to the shades, the darkest of the dark. So earth brown shades, dark. And I'm going to flick in from the edges and the base of that tail. Just little kind of hairline flicks. I'm also going to do the hooves. Just flick in and out. So we're kind of starting to add, you can see we're adding this texture and dimension here. I'll hold this up. Flicking there. And next I'm going to the blend marker, the dark tip on the earth brown blend, and just flick that in. Add a little bit more texture and dimension. And the hooves, I want those hooves to be dark. A little bit more flicking. And this is really such a personal preference of how you're coloring this in. No right or wrong there. And swing it back to the light and go over everything again. So that was just my personal preference of how I colored in the horse for this one. And go over those hooves. All right, we're ready to put that all together next. So back to our card, I have grass with another border die. We have two pieces, a taller one and a smaller one. And, you know, our cardstock is two-tone, so I flipped it over to do a lighter version with the different hill shape. I put foam tape already. I doubled it up, so make it extra thick with a double layer. And we're going to put this down. And hopefully your penny is far enough up that it's not going to hit onto your foam tape here. Let's see, does it swing? Yep, it swings. Alrighty. And this one we're just going to glue. You might have to trim off a little bit. Yeah, that's good the way it is. I kind of like it there. Oh, I had my cap off of my glue a little. There it goes. Got to be mindful of leaving your cap off too long. Add that to the bottom. Alrighty, now something a little different. We're not going to add our horse all the way up here like we did before. I'm cutting off this extra acetate here. And we're going to put foam tape right on the button for our horse. And remember, we're going to double it like we did before so that it's popping out enough. Double layer foam tape there. And here's our horse. Let's see how he moves there. Sometimes if it's a little sticky, check that your foam tape is not too thick, too high, that it's bumping against that penny. All right, let me come back to our barn. Let's finish this up. So I'll come back to our earth brown. Let's see, the dark. We'll do the roof here. Dark shade of earth brown, and then around the frame. I colored the barn in with dark red. And let me come back to a yellow. Put in that window there. Oop, and dark brown around that window frame. And I want to show you what I did to make this barn look a little bit more textured. You see on my sample there, I have little lines in the barn. Those are not on the stamp, so I drew them in. I just took the dark tip of the dark red marker. So the color is called dark red, but we're using the dark tip. And just draw in your own wood grain lines. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of flicking. And you get the gist there of texture and wood grain. And then on the barn doors, I went vertically. Got a couple little lines there. So I think that just gives it a little bit more cool dimension and texture rather than it just being plain. And then that is going to get glued straight onto the card, but it's getting tucked behind the hills there. And then simply our message is another banner. And these banners, by the way, these little stitched banners that I used, these came from our waterfall die set. I just love the size and the shape and that they have stitch lines in them. And happy birthday is going to go right on the bottom here. So there is your horse card. Really cute. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you really like these ideas of interactive cards. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.